There's an old saying that goes, when you visit somewhere you should take nothing but memories, and leave behind nothing but footprints. But some tourists did not abide by this rule. Here are some amazing places all around the world that have been ruined by tourists. From teens who were caught on camera destroying an amazing formation, to the world's most beautiful beach that was ruined by Leonardo DiCaprio. Duckbill Rock Formation, Oregon. If you've ever been to Oregon, you may know that they have some amazing national parks. People would come from far and wide to see the amazing Duckbill Formation. This was a sandstone rock which looked exactly like a duck's bill. People like to look at it, take photos, and climb on it. This became a problem and they did not want it to get ruined. So that's why they put some barriers out so people couldn't go too close. However, in 2016, the rock formation was found to be crumbled. What used to look like a duck's bill now looked like a bunch of pebbles on the floor. They thought this was simply nature wearing the rock down. But then a video surfaced online which went viral. It showed a group of teenagers intentionally destroying this amazing formation. It took thousands of years for the elements to turn the rock into the shape of a duck's bill, but it took mere seconds for these teens to destroy it. The video caused outrage in the Oregon area, but despite the video being played on the news, the teen vandals were never caught. The Tree of TÉNÉRÉ, Niger. You may not think a single tree is an amazing landmark, but in the middle of the world's largest desert, it sure is. The Tree of TÉNÉRÉ was the only tree for 250 miles. It was the only living piece of greenery in the Sahara Desert. And for hundreds of years, nomads who live in the desert used this as a landmark to get around. Biologists described this tree as a miracle. Many failed to understand how a tree could survive in this desert with no water. But ironically, this amazing landmark was destroyed by a liquid. Specifically an alcoholic liquid. One day a Libyan driver had been drunk driving in the desert. Even though there's nothing for miles around, he managed to plow right into the tree. Sadly, the drunk driver snapped the tree's trunk, meaning it could never recover. The Niger National Museum put up a metal sculpture where the tree once stood, but sadly the sole reminder of greenery in the Sahara Desert is now gone. Torres del Paine National Park, Chile. Chile is home to many amazing national parks, and one of the most beautiful was said to be Torres del Paine. It had gigantic granite rock mountains. It also had trees, waterfalls, and glaciers. But unfortunately, humans have been ruining this amazing place. And they've been doing it with an invention as old as man, fire. In 2005, a tourist used a gas stove in the area. They were camping where you weren't allowed to, and the stove set fire to some grassland. This then spread and the fire went on for 10 days. This single fire destroyed 7% of the entire national park. Then in 2011, a tourist made a campfire in an unauthorized area. This caused a massive fire which was only put out thanks to heavy rainfall. Later that year, a tourist had the bright idea to burn some toilet paper. This caused another very big fire. This caused the national park to shut down all the way until 2012. And more recently in 2015, 2 tourists were banned for creating unauthorized campfires. This destroyed yet more of this amazing national park. I know us humans love national parks and fire, but we have to be more careful. Paleolithic cave paintings, France. These amazing cave paintings can be found in the Lascaux caves of France. These amazing cave paintings are from the Stone Age, but they were only discovered in 1940 by accident. A few French teenagers were in a cave one day. They were looking for their missing dog, but found something even more amazing. In the cave were 600 cave paintings and 500 limestone engravings. These were of animals, humans hunting animals, and symbols too. This amazing piece of history attracted many tourists. But what no one thought about was humans' body heat. All of the humans' body heat and the humidity in the cave caused the cave's climate to change. This created a pervasive fungus on the images. They did try to put air conditioning down in the cave, but it simply would not work. Sadly, 23 years after it was discovered, they had to close this cave for good. That's because body heat from the tourists had wrecked many of the cave paintings. NAZCA lines, Peru. Take a look at a certain area in Peru on Google Earth and you'll see something rather strange. These are known as the NAZCA lines. They've been called the greatest archaeological mystery in the world. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it's 2,000 years old. The gigantic lines in the stone make no sense when you're standing on the ground, but from the sky above you can clearly see amazing and unusual images. Some believe that these were done by ancient aliens, while others believed that humans did this as a message to their gods. But ironically, this amazing place was ruined by the climate activist group Greenpeace. In 2014, they did a big publicity stunt. Next to the Nazca lines, they laid out the words "Time for Change." This was because of a UN climate change talk which was being held in Peru. They did this next to the gigantic etching of a hummingbird, but their words and also their footprints caused major damage to the site. Also, sometimes lazy drivers cut through this plane. In 2018, a truck driver drove right through these amazing carvings. Sadly, he damaged 3 of the images. Thankfully, he was later arrested for damaging cultural heritage. But it's safe to say that humans have messed up the Nazca lines quite a bit. Maya Beach, Thailand. For many years, Maya Beach was a hidden gem. People in Thailand knew it as the most pretty beach in the whole country. The sand was totally white and the waters were crystal clear. There were also large, amazing cliffs covered in trees. But this all changed in 2000 when the movie The Beach came out. The movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio was massively popular, and it made many tourists from all over the world go to Maya Beach. All of a sudden, every day 5,000 tourists were showing up, and 200 boats would visit the area every day. This ruined the bay's ecological system. The boats caused major pollution to the water, and all of the tourists left lots of litter laying around. Also, the sheer number of people caused lots of contaminants, and this damaged the coral around Maya Bay. Many locals wanted the government to shut this down, but because it was making so much money, they simply wouldn't. In 2018, they finally caved and closed the beach for 4 months. But this was not enough time and the beach was still ruined. In 2019, they closed it yet again, this time indefinitely. They said they would close this amazing beach until it went back to normal. But sadly, experts say this could take many years and it may never go back to normal. Thanks a lot, Leo. BOEUNG Lake, Cambodia. The BOEUNG Lake was an amazing lake located in the northern part of Cambodia. It was famous for its amazing vast waterscapes and sunsets. Tourists would flock from all over the world to see this amazing place. But unfortunately, all of this tourism created a lot of trash. Also, because the area made so much money, they wanted to build more hotels. And they did this by filling over 90% of the lake with sand. This was to make apartments and hotels. Some say there was corruption because the person who owned the company that did this works in government. But sadly, this development destroyed much of the lake. 4,000 families in the local area depend on the lake for survival, and many had to relocate or deal with a lot of flooding. It's sad that greed and lust for money destroyed this amazing place. The CHACALTAYA Glacier, Bolivia. For many years, this place was famous among skiers. That's because it was once the world's highest ski resort. You could ski higher than many airplanes. The ski resort was above the clouds at 17,300 feet, and below were amazing views of Lake Titicaca. But thanks to climate change, much of that glacier has disappeared. They knew this was coming, but it happened much faster than they expected. A lot of the snow is simply melted and now it's just hard rock and you can't ski there. This caused the tourism to dry up and it's now a ghost town with abandoned buildings. Also, local water supplies were dependent on the glaciers. But now that these have melted, many people cannot get water. The ARAL Sea. At one point, the ARAL Sea was the 4th largest lake in the world. It lies between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, but for many years there's been an irrigation project going on by the sea. This caused almost all of the water to dry up. This devastated the surrounding fishing communities, and the remaining water is too salty for many fish to live in. There's also lots of pollution here too, and experts say that nothing can be done and the lake will never go back to how it once was. But now it's time to make your voice heard. If you want some more awesome videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.